Christina is the executive chef of the Gordon Ramsay group.
That tuna dish, quite frankly, is one of the best dishes I've ever seen in here.
In Hell's Kitchen, respect is never given for free. It isn't earned by shouting the loudest, plating the prettiest dish, or surviving one good service. Respect in this kitchen is earned when things go wrong, when pressure spikes, timing collapses, and Gordon Ramsay is looking for someone who won't. And every season, a small number of chefs stand out, not because they avoided chaos, but because they stayed solid inside it. These are the Hell's Kitchen chefs who earned real respect, away from Ramsay, from their teammates, and from the audience watching it unfold. Ramsay doesn't respect excuses. He respects execution, awareness, and resilience. When he trusts a chef, it shows in who he leaves on the line, who he pushes harder instead of sending home, and who he quietly relies on when service is hanging by a thread. And when contestants respect someone, that usually means one thing: they feel safer working next to them. Let's start with the run that still defines earning it the hard way. If you've ever watched season 6, you don't need an explanation. Dave Levy's run is burned into Hell's Kitchen history, not because it was flashy, not because it was easy, but because it was relentless. Midway through the competition, Dave suffers a serious wrist injury, the kind of injury that would justify stepping back or stepping out. He does neither. Service after service, Dave keeps cooking, adapting, compensating, grinding through pain without turning it into an excuse. What matters isn't just that he keeps going, it's how he keeps going. He doesn't collapse, he doesn't become sloppy, and he doesn't drag the team down with him. Ramsay notices.
Don't take this the wrong way, but you're 10,000 times better cook with one hand.
And instead of going easier on him, he pushes harder. That's respect in Hell's Kitchen language. Dave earns respect not because he survives injured, but because he performs injured. And by the end of the season, no one questions why he belongs there. He's not just respected, he's trusted. If Dave represents grit, Megan Gill represents standards. From the very beginning of season 14, Megan moves differently. She isn't scrambling to keep up, she's setting the pace. Her signature dish immediately establishes something rare: control without arrogance. A perfect score doesn't just impress Ramsay.
Wow. For me, the hero is the good use of cheese. That's one of the best enchiladas I've ever tasted. Congratulations.
It resets expectations for everyone else. What makes Megan respected isn't dominance alone, it's consistency. Service after service, she doesn't spike emotionally, she doesn't spiral when others do, and she doesn't need chaos to look competent. Other contestants start measuring themselves against her, not out of jealousy, but awareness. That's the difference between fear and respect. By the time the season progresses, Megan isn't fighting for validation. She's operating like she already has the job, and Ramsay treats her accordingly. Christina Wilson earns respect in a way that extends far beyond her season. During season 10, Christina proves she can lead. Not just cook, she communicates clearly, she absorbs pressure without deflecting it, and she doesn't disappear when things go sideways. Ramsay pushes her, challenges her, and keeps her in the fight because he sees long-term potential. And what happens after the season confirms that respect was real. Christina doesn't just win, she goes on to hold major leadership roles within Ramsay's restaurant group and eventually returns as a Hell's Kitchen sous chef.
Christina is the executive chef of the Gordon Ramsay group across the whole US.
That's not television respect, that's professional trust. When Ramsay hands someone his kitchen, his brand, and his staff, that's the highest level of respect possible in this world. Latasha McCutcheon earns respect quietly. Season 13 doesn't revolve around chaos, it revolves around composure. Latasha leads without theatrics. She doesn't dominate conversations, but when she speaks, people listen. Her strength shows in execution, steady services, clean communication, and a refusal to panic. In Hell's Kitchen, calm is contagious, and Latasha brings stability into rooms that desperately need it. Ramsay respects chefs who don't make his job harder. Latasha makes it easier. That's why her win feels controlled instead of dramatic, and why her respect comes from consistency, not spectacle. Scott Cummings earns respect the hard way, by not breaking when things stack against him. Season 12 tests Scott relentlessly. He faces criticism, he faces doubt.
It's the most expensive cut of lamb anywhere in the world.
and yet you've just managed to fuck it completely.
And he faces repeated pressure to prove he belongs. What separates Scott isn't perfection, it's response. He absorbs feedback instead of fighting it. He recalibrates instead of collapsing, and he keeps showing up stronger after every hit. Ramsay doesn't respect chefs who never stumble. He respects chefs who recover correctly. Scott becomes the definition of mental durability, a trait that wins more seasons than raw talent ever could. By the end of his run, the respect feels earned, not handed out, but because he was durable. Some moments earn respect not through food, but through character. Louis Petraz's defining moment comes during nominations. After a rough service, Ramsay asks who should go up. Instead of pointing fingers, Louis does something no one expects. He nominates himself, not out of weakness, but because he refuses to sacrifice his teammates, explaining that everyone else worked hard and deserved to stay.
I can't pick any of these guys. They worked too hard, and we came in today and worked our asses off. You know, I tried to get the job done. I wasn't a star in that spot today.
In Hell's Kitchen, where self-preservation is usually the default, that decision lands hard. Ramsay notices. That moment isn't about cooking skill, it's about leadership, accountability, and integrity under pressure. Louis earns respect not because he's flawless, but because he takes responsibility when it's easiest to deflect it. And that kind of respect lasts. Respect can also be earned in a single, undeniable moment. Paula De Silva delivers one of those moments in season 5. During a challenge, she presents a tuna dish that immediately stands out, not just as good but as exceptional. Ramsay's reaction isn't casual praise. He treats the dish as a benchmark, calling it one of the best plates he has seen in Hell's Kitchen up to that point.
All the Hell's Kitchens, that tuna dish, quite frankly, is one of the best dishes I've ever seen in here.
That matters, because Ramsay doesn't elevate dishes lightly. When he does, it signals trust in the chef behind it. Paula continues to prove that trust wasn't misplaced, delivering consistent performances and maintaining control deep into the competition. Her respect comes from execution so clean that it silences doubt. In newer seasons, the baseline skill level is higher. That makes respect harder to earn, not easier. Kyle Timpson stands out because he combines talent with composure. He doesn't unravel under pressure. He doesn't become a liability when things speed up, and he understands that leadership isn't volume, it's reliability. Ramsay praises his grit and control, and Kyle steps directly into the executive chef role tied to his win. In modern Hell's Kitchen, that transition matters. It shows Ramsay isn't just crowning a winner. He's selecting someone he trusts to represent the brand immediately. That's respect adapted to a new era. So what do all these chefs actually have in common? It isn't style, it isn't background, and it isn't personality. It's how they behave when the kitchen stops cooperating. Across every season, respect in Hell's Kitchen follows the same pattern. They don't argue, they adjust, they don't panic, they communicate, and they protect the service even when it costs them personally. Their teammates trust them because they don't create extra problems. Ramsay trusts them because they don't waste time. In a kitchen where chaos is guaranteed, dependability becomes the rarest trait of all. Hell's Kitchen is loud, it's unforgiving, and it exposes weaknesses quickly, but the chefs who earn real respect always look the same in the end. Focused, controlled, and unshaken when everything else is falling apart. So who gets your vote for the most respected run? Dave's unbreakable grit, Megan's flawless standard, Christina's leadership legacy, Latasha's calm control, Scott's comeback resilience, or Kyle's modern era composure? Let us know, and we'll see you in the next one.